I'm James Ehrhard. I'm running for the state senate here in the Worcester, Hamden, Hampshire, Middlesex Senate District. It's the second biggest district in the state of Massachusetts. It has 28 towns, from the New Hampshire border down to the Connecticut border, from Worcester west over to the Quabbin region. It's about the size of Rhode Island. These 28 towns are very diverse, and they're very self-reliant and independent people. The biggest problem we have in the state of Massachusetts in terms of our government is we literally live in a one-party state. Right now, there are 40 state senators and only 4 of them are Republican. When you have a one-party state, rubber stamping everything, we have the problem we have right now. Confiscatory taxes, a burdensome regulation system where no small business in their right mind would want to do business in Massachusetts. When you have a one-party state, you have lack of creativity, you have stagnation, and you have corruption. As we know from the probation trial that just occurred in Boston, my Democratic opponent was one of the key witnesses in that trial, where it was implied that Speaker DeLeo was handing out probation jobs to get votes for the Speaker of the House. Now, she said on the stand that she wasn't involved in that, but it was intriguing that she was brought in by the U.S. Attorney's Office to discuss that. She also said in the stand that the state budget is so big, no one reads it from end to end. She's a good woman, but that's a problem. When our legislator is not reading the budget because it's too big, that should be a red flag that we need to make the budget smaller and that we're burdening our folks and our businesses. And I want to change that dialogue. I want to say, I read the budget. Me and my staff went to that budget, and this is what I want to cut. Our budget should not be going up, it should be going down. Our taxes have gone up every year since Deval Patrick became governor. They should be going down. Because when you cut taxes, you raise revenue. When you cut taxes, you lead to prosperity. Because the free market works that way. This is not the best we can do as a government. We can be so much better. We're a thriving people, an educated people, a hardworking people. Go drive through Barre and Oakham and meet these people, how hard they're working, trying to make ends meet. We're a thriving state, but we have a government which is not responsive or conducive to what we as people can do. I want to bring that energy and that dialogue back to Beacon Hill. I want to sit down with the Senate President and say, let's try and cut taxes here. Let's cut spending, see what we can do here. Time and time again we see our state senators and our state representatives putting in an article, oh, I got a grant for this, I got a grant for that. You see it all the time in the paper. Not once have I seen one of our state senators say, oh, I cut your taxes. I cut this, I cut that. It's always, I brought you this money, I brought you that money. Constituent service is important. But it's not my job just to pass out money. It's my job to help you keep your money in your wallet so you can spend it as you want to spend it. Remember, our legislature put in place a gas tax, which self-perpetuates and rises every year with inflation, but never goes down when you have deflation. And that's because our legislature didn't want to vote on it anymore. They literally abrogated their responsibility as legislators because that was the easy path to take. And for me, that was really a red flag. It was a light bulb to me that something needs to change. Someone needs to step up and try and change the dialogue in Beacon Hill. The other thing for me was Common Core. Common Core is the nationally imposed standard of curriculum, where what they teach in Alabama is the same thing you get taught in Massachusetts. That goes against everything we as Americans believe in. Local control of school, local control of what we teach our kids. And that was put in place without a vote from the legislature, without a vote from any elected official. But yet our Democratic majority in Beacon Hill and Democratic governor have nothing but praise for it. Something had to change. As a state senator, you can only do so much. You are one of 40. But as I showed on the school committee, you can work together and find common ground. On the National School Committee, there were a lot of Democrats, a lot of liberal Democrats. We worked together. We sent letters to the governor asking him to push back some of these regulations. We kept our costs down to task. We were able to push back against union contracts. And that's what I want to do in the state Senate. I want to say to my Democratic colleagues, we can do this. Good policy leads to a thriving state. And a thriving state leads to votes. The best way to get elected time and time again is to make people prosper. And the best way to make them prosper is to get out of the way and let the animal instincts of the free market work. What do? I want to see the income tax go down. I want to see the sales tax go down. I want to see the tolls come down. I want to see Common Core removed from our system and go back to the MCAS. I want to see us allow school districts and municipalities be able to negotiate with the unions with more freedom. Such things as not automatically deducting union dues from public paychecks. Allow the public employees to choose if or not they want to pay the union dues. That brings competition not only to our government, but brings competition to the unions. If you look at spending over the last year, $9 million on the governor's renovations, hundreds of millions of dollars on the Mass Health website, which failed. Remember, it worked before, and then we implemented Obamacare, and it failed. My campaign's IT director would have done a better job for probably $1,000 to put a website together than the hundreds of millions of dollars he spent on that website. Look at welfare. There's rampant fraud in the EPT system in the tens upon tens millions of dollars. If we even put basic systems in place, that money would not be going out the door. That's almost $1 billion right there, and it's all easily solved. How do you solve it? You bring private sector thinking into the public sector. Can you imagine Aetna or Harvard Pilgrim Health spending hundreds of millions of dollars on a failed website? We haven't even sued the contractor yet of that website. Can you imagine Aetna or Harvard Pilgrim Health not suing them? Of course you can't, because reasonable people would do that. But when you have a mindset of a public sector philosophy, which is controlled by one-party government, they don't care about the consequences because there are none. We have a budget of over $36 billion. $1.2 billion of it literally went down a black hole for healthcare, renovations, and EBT fraud. We can do better. As a state senator, I want to do my part to bring truth to Beacon Hill. Will I win every battle? Of course not. But like in Dead Poets Society at the end, where he stands up on the desk and says, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," someone needs to be the first one to stay on the desk, and everyone else will stand with him. You should vote for me because we're going to win. It's a campaign based on message. When I first decided to run back in October, an old school Republican, met with me and he goes, "Jim, you can't win. It's all about likability. It's all about personality. If you run on ideas, you're going to lose." I said to this person, "You know what? I think a winning campaign is based on ideas. When you run on personality, you govern on personality, and you go with the wind. When you run a campaign on ideas, and you win on ideas, you govern on ideas, and that's leadership." It is my belief that as Republicans, we win in the state of Massachusetts when we stand for something. Be conservative. Be proud of being conservative. Be proud about talking about cutting taxes. Be proud about talking about cutting spending. Be proud about talking about traditional marriage. Be talking about protecting life, born and unborn. These are good things to talk about. We've worked hard, put together a grassroots organization required to win. The one piece we need right now is votes. And the time has come now. The election's in just a few weeks, and every vote counts. We're working hard to get those votes. My message is clear. Even my worst critics will tell you he believes what he believes, and he's not going to waver. And that's a powerful thing. My liberal friends and my conservative friends know that I believe in cutting taxes, cutting spending, protecting life, traditional marriage. And I'm proud of those beliefs. And I believe it's a winning philosophy in the state of Massachusetts. Too many times we as Republicans run trying to act like Democrats soft, and we lose. Let's act like Republicans, and we can win.